Amara had always loved the feeling of earning her own money. By 32, she owned a sleek apartment overlooking the city skyline, drove a silver SUV, and managed a growing logistics company that people in Nairobi admired. Her friends described her as disciplined, sharp, and independent, the kind of woman who didn't need anyone. And yet, every Friday evening, she packed an overnight bag and drove across town to see Brian. Brian lived in a single rented room in a crowded neighborhood where the streets were loud with music and charcoal smoke. He wasn't formally employed. He did daily jobs, construction one day, loading trucks the next, sometimes washing cars, anything that paid cash by sunset. Some days he earned well, some days he came home with nothing. Amara told herself she admired his resilience. They didn't live together. She had suggested it once, gently, but Brian laughed it off. "When I can stand like a man," he had said. She didn't push. On Saturdays, she would arrive with groceries, toiletries, sometimes new clothes folded neatly in shopping bags. Brian would smile, kiss her forehead, and call her Madam CEO in a teasing tone that warmed her and unsettled her at the same time. By evening, the teasing would often turn into something else. Brian liked to drink. At first, it had been casual, just a few bottles with friends after work. But gradually, the bottles multiplied. The laughter grew louder, then heavier. When he drank, he became unpredictable. Not violent, but sharp-tongued, defensive, distant. "You think you're better than me because you have money?" he once slurred. She had frozen. "I never said that." "You don't have to." That night she drove back to her apartment earlier than usual, gripping the steering wheel until her knuckles turned pale. Amara didn't understand how a woman who negotiated contracts worth millions could feel so small in one cramped room with peeling paint. During the week, she was powerful. On weekends, she was anxious. She began noticing changes in herself. Sleepless nights, sudden tears in the shower, irritability at work. She would sit in board meetings, nodding at projections and graphs, while her mind replayed Brian's drunken words. "Why do I stay?" she asked herself often. The answer was never simple. She remembered the sober Brian, the one who woke up early, who could fix a broken tap in minutes, who held her hand gently while walking to the market. The Brian who said, "You deserve softness," and meant it. But she also carried the weight of disappointment, the exhaustion of being the stronger one, the quiet fear that she was trying to save someone who didn't want to be saved. Her friends didn't know the full story. They saw a confident woman with everything together. They didn't see her staring at her phone late at night, debating whether to call him. They didn't see the guilt she felt for resenting him, or the shame for staying. One Sunday afternoon, she found him asleep on his mattress, an empty bottle tipped over on the floor. She stood at the doorway for a long time. The room smelled of alcohol and dust. In that moment, something inside her shifted. Not anger, not pity, but clarity. She realized her emotional pain wasn't just about Brian's drinking. It was about her own loneliness, her need to feel needed, her habit of confusing love with responsibility. She knelt down and gently moved the bottle away. He stirred but didn't wake. For the first time, she didn't try to clean the room. She didn't prepare food. She didn't wait. She left quietly. That evening, back in her high-rise apartment, she sat on her balcony and let herself feel everything. Grief, love, frustration, fear. Her psychological struggle wasn't weakness. It was the cost of loving someone whose battles were not hers to fight. She didn't block his number. She didn't make a dramatic declaration. But she made a decision. She would no longer sacrifice her mental health to preserve a relationship built on imbalance. The next time Brian called, sober and apologetic, she listened. And then she spoke calmly. "I care about you, but I can't carry both of us." For the first time in months, she slept through the night. Amara was still successful, still wealthy, still capable of love. But now she was learning something harder than building a business: how to choose herself.